All right, so for polar coordinates, the first thing, if you're confused, what I would do is I would create kind of a guide for yourself. So we started with the 90 degrees, and remember, anytime we go to the right, that's going to be 0 degrees. From there, it's a full circle going 360 degrees. So if you divided that by 4, so we have our 4 quadrants, we have 0. Okay, so 360 divided by 4 is 90. So we'd add 90 to 0. Over here we would have 180 degrees. And then below this would be 270. So that's just adding 90 each time. So if we take that one step further and add in our 45s, if you add 45 to 0, you are gonna get 45. Okay, so here I have 45 degrees. If I add 45 to 90, I have 135. Going down to the bottom, if I add 45 to 180, I have 225. And in this direction, I have either 315, or you could type in a negative 45. Okay, so this is gonna be helpful, especially if you can't have multiple screens open at once. Now, if we went over today's problem, remember we're gonna use polar coordinates. So to type in polar coordinates, it's always gonna be the @ symbol followed by the distance you wanna travel, less than, just to break up the two numbers, the angle we're traveling at. Okay, so for instance, if I was going to start down here at this lower left-hand corner, I want to go to the right. First, I need to calculate how long is that line. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the dimension lines. If you pull straight down, we have the 2 extension lines. That line length is 2.25. So I would type in at 2.25 less than the angle we want to travel. That angle is straight to the right, so that would be 0 degrees. Okay, now this is similar to relative coordinates that we're moving from point to point. So here we have our horizontal line, and now I am going up at this angle. So first I need to know how long is that line. So that line length, I'm looking at the 2 extension lines, is 1.768. So I would type in at 1.768 less than the angle I want to travel. So remember, if this was our grid, to the right would be 0, up would be 90. So it's 45 degrees off of 0. So I would add it. So less than 45. Okay, it's that same thing all the way around. So now if I got up to this point, I want to travel to the left, or I'm sorry, so let's start with the distance. So the distance, again, I'm looking where the line starts and stops. Here I have a dimension. So that line would be at the 0.250 less than. Okay, now again, if you're comparing it just to our grid, straight up would be 90, to the left would be 180. Okay, it's 45 degrees off of that. So my number I type in has to be between 90 and 180. So the fact that it's going up to the left, that's gonna be their 135. Okay, and then you would continue until you made it all the way around. So I'm not gonna do the whole thing with you because I wanna see if you can. But if you have any questions, make sure you come back and ask in our meeting.